Hey guys, this is Sid Schumann with the PlayStation Blog. It's definitely the last day of E3. The voices are getting creakier, the shirts are getting louder, and the games are getting more intense than ever. I'm here with Patrick Bach. He's the executive editor, or the executive producer of Battlefield 3 on PS3, and we've got a lot of questions for the man. How's it going?
It's great.
Good to have you. All right. Well, first things first, I think we should have a little bit of a disclaimer. We're watching some awesome footage here at Battlefield 3, and it's PC footage. We should make that clear. That leads me to my first question. How is the PS3 version of Battlefield 3 going to stack up visually?
Our goal has always been to create a game that works equally on all platforms. The engine is designed to run smooth on the PS3 as well on the PC. So I think the consumer will not see any big differences between the versions. Thanks.
That leads me to another question as well. My understanding is you guys have actually borrowed animation technology from FIFA, is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
How does that enhance the experience?
It actually creates a lot of difference when it comes to the emotion of being on the battlefield. You actually see the other characters moving around in a very lifelike way. You can see that in FIFA as well, and it looks really, really good. Even though you have perfect control, it still looks amazing. And the same is also a fact for Battlefield 3.
Awesome. Now, I'm hearing that we have record Twitter questions for Battlefield 3. I want to get them out here right away. We got a lot of them, so let's get Jeff out here. Jeff, what's the story?
Yeah, I think you may have a hit on your hands because the Twitterverse is just lighting up. Number one question by far is, how is Battlefield going to stack up against and differentiate itself from Modern Warfare 3?
I think in general, we're not trying to build the same game. I know that there's a lot of things you can compare. It's a first-person shooter, it's modern day, it's military theme. But in general, we're making a Battlefield game. We've always been making Battlefield games, ever since the first Battlefield game, 1942, that was released back in 2002. We know what the Battlefield formula is, and this is going to be the best Battlefield game we've ever built. So I think it's more up to what the consumer wants. If they want a deep military experience when it comes to infantry and vehicles, if you want destruction, and if you want the all-out 64-player or 24-player war, then this is the game for you.
Let's keep it going. We got a lot here.
A lot of questions on online multiplayer. I'll give you a couple. I'll stack them up here. Anis SF97 says, how has online changed and how has it gotten better? I'm assuming compared to Bad Company 2. And then also, what are the playlists like? Are they similar to Medal of Honor? Asked Kareem Amro 96.
Sorry, the last question.
The playlists. How do the playlists work? He was comparing using Medal of Honor as an example.
Yeah, I think in general the online play has always been the core for all Battlefield games. So we learned a lot from both Battlefield Bad Company 2, but also going back to the roots with Battlefield 2. So in general, we are looking at something that is a hybrid, I would say, between the latest Battlefield game and the Battlefield 2 game. Taking the best parts of that and then turning that into a game that you could argue is pushing the limit into the next generation. The goal is always to make it easy for people to play together. So of course, grouping up, teaming up, playing together is a key feature for the game.
That's great. Let's take one more.
All right. A lot of questions about the Frostbite 2 engine.
Yeah.
So what is that? How is that going to compare? Is this the first time we're going to be seeing this engine on the PS3? And what does it enable you to do that the original Frostbite? How does it improve? How about that? Well, I'm rephrasing on the fly. I'm not very good at it.
Thanks, Jeff.
In general, the Frostbite 2 engine, that's an engine that's actually designed to build Battlefield 3. That was the basic core idea of Battlefield 3. Was so complicated and so really striving to go into the next generation that we actually had to build a new engine. And the goal has always been to make the game more visceral and more boots to the ground, authentic. And what you need to do that is not one feature or one gimmick. It's actually changing the whole spectrum of what you need to do in a game. So everything from destruction to animation, audio, the scale of the maps, and of course the lighting that it makes everything really come to life is a big part of that engine. And then of course there's a lot of workflow that makes it easier for us to iterate in the game and make it even better. And I think if you look at the footage that we have out now, you can see that it actually makes a big difference to the actual gameplay.
That's awesome. That leads me to a question I've got. There's so many first-person shooters out there. There's so many military shooters, and they kind of cover a whole spectrum. You got ones that are twitchier and faster.
Yeah.
You got ones that are very, very realistic. Where would you say Battlefield falls on that spectrum?
Well, the goal for us has always been to make a game where every type of player can actually find their place on the battlefield. So we have the classes or the weapons that are more focused on the Twitch skill, but then we also have the more supportive roles that, you know, where you actually help your team to win the round rather than actually shooting people yourself. So you can see even in the leaderboards that there are a lot of people that doesn't really kill that many people that actually get really high scores because they're really supportive, and there's a role for everyone. So you don't have to be the super Twitch skill, you know, 14-year-old to win a round. You can actually be a very supportive and a mature playstyle that is a bit slower, but still being on the same battlefield, finding your role. And I think that's the big benefit of the Battlefield playstyle.
Awesome. The Twitter feed's still blowing up. We're going to take another one here from Jeff.
Sorry, they just keep coming in, so we want to get these questions asked. We had a question, and again, a lot of questions similar to this. Anime Sergeant goes, will there be kill streak rewards in Battlefield 3? And tell us about the rank and leveling up system.
In general, you know, persistence and you know, getting awarded is very, very important. We don't have really kill streaks. We don't want that type of arcade gameplay where the best players actually get rewarded for being the best players. You want it to be balanced. So if you're a really good player, you get rewarded for everything you do. Everything from, you know, shooting people, headshots, but also for the supportive actions that we talked about before. So just, you know, laying down covering fire, supporting your crew will actually give you points. You know, helping out is a very, very big part here. But the focus should still be on the first-person experience, just running and gunning and shooting, which is the core of the game. And then we also have the vehicles, which is very, very important. And all of these things together is of course adding to the persistence of the game. So ranking up is a natural part. You'll get a lot of unlocks, you'll get a lot of stuff. You get a lot of rewards for doing good on the battlefield. And then we have the cool, you know, dog tag system, which I'm, you know, wearing right now, where if you sneak up on an enemy and knife them, you will actually steal their dog tag. And this has been a part of the Battlefield games for a long, long time. And it's very, very rewarding to actually steal a physical item from your enemy and keep that in your persistence, so you can go back and look at the dog tags that have been stolen.
Kind of rub their face in it a little bit,
yeah,
if you will. We're just about out of time. I got one more quick question for you.
Okay.
Any military shooter, it's all about the guns. What's your favorite gun so far in Battlefield 3?
Oh, that's a really, really hard question to answer. I think, you know, the M16 is a classic. You know, it's a great gun. It's a versatile gun. I would probably pick that. You have to be forced to pick a gun. But then again, depending on the play style, depending on the map, you know, there's always a gun to counter any situation in Battlefield.
That's great. There's one more quick one too. The PS3 version. The PS3 version of Battlefield 3 comes with an extra bonus. What is that?
Well, you're going to get something for free, and that is the 1943 game that we released, you know, a couple of years ago, which is a great, you know, back to our, you know, history of Battlefield, where you have a World War II shooter that is really easy to pick up and play. You'll get that for free with the PS3 version.
Awesome. Battlefield 3 coming out this fall for PS3. Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you.